Greetings, colonists, and welcome to Lunar Knights. Everything works. I'm going to be terrible at some segments, and generally not very good at this game, but I do enjoy it. Let's enjoy the opening, because I love the song.
Lunar Knights.
Alright, I started up a game and completed the first area, and went into the second area in order to test to make sure I could get everything to work. So, Lunar Knights.
The Stellenium. An age of lawlessness and chaos, where man wanders the stars and might prevails over right. This remote planet on the frontier is no exception. From time immemorial, the Dark Tribe, a group of vampires, has struck fear into humanity and threatened mankind. Now, with the help of a new power obtained from the realm of the stars, they've taken the Parasol, an environmental manipulation system, and summoned an alien sky to rid the world of light. Beneath its shadow, the hopes and dreams of an entire planet have slipped into darkness. However, from within that darkness, two young heroes emerge. One, wielding the legendary Dark Sword, fights a never-ending battle against the vampires. The other, whose power has yet to awaken, holds the essence of the sun within his very heart. The story of these two boys is about to begin.
So, Lunar Knights is the DS sequel to Boktai. It got rebranded for the US release because of how unpopular Boktai was. We didn't even get Boktai 3. Drinking away the morning, eh? Nice life you got there. Heh, same to you! What else are you supposed to do in a place like this? Makes no difference if it's morning or not. Day or night, the sky's always dark. You said it. Just how much longer do we have to put up with this darkness anyway? And that's not even the half of it. Apparently the Margrave's manhunt is starting up again. So I looked it up eventually after playing this game for the first time. Years later, I looked up. Margrave is a title about equivalent to like an earl, I think? It's a very low noble title. A fellow can't even roam about in peace anymore. They say he's got the power to control flame. Thanks to him, this town's gotten real lonely. If I'm gonna get killed over that vampire's stupid game, I'd rather they just slap a collar on me and ship me off to live in the cursed city. Hey, don't be ridiculous. Nobody would willingly subject themselves to a life like that. Well, it's better than sitting around this ghost town, spending the entire time living in fear, isn't it? So wait, you're saying that being collared like a slave and having your blood sucked dry beats living here? Before you know it, you'll be undead like the rest. At least I'll be safe until then. What, you'd rather be burnt to cinders by the Margrave? A vampire that can control flame. Doesn't sound like our man. So now what? Well, even if that's not him, he's still the best lead we've got. At the very least, we should be able to get a clue as to where to go next. Let's go, Narrow. So yeah, this stars entirely different characters. Is aesthetically very different. And I'm torn on whether or not I think it's even within the same continuity as the first three Boktai games. Monsters, that didn't take long. Well, this is a vampire's lair after all. Conflict is pretty much inevitable. To attack, use the Y button. Press it in to ready the weapon you're holding, then release it to attack your enemies. Tap it repeatedly to dole out a chain attack that causes additional damage. It's a great way to go on the offensive in a pinch. So, I can use the R button to target enemies, and this game, the DS has more buttons on than the Game Boy Advance, and boy, did they use them. I have a shield now. I can lock onto enemies, so I don't need to be shooting them from one of 8 specific spots. They haven't taught me about the shield yet, but I mean, they have in the other playthrough I was doing just to make sure everything would work. Hold it, that's a hint panel over there, isn't it? Hint panels contain useful info that pertains to your surroundings. When you find a new panel, be sure to give it a read. Press the A button in front of the panel to take a look at its information. Dashing. To dash, i.e. run fast, press the control pad twice in any given direction. But beware, dashing consumes energy and any damage taken while dashing is doubled. Also, if you try that while you've got a weapon or shield equipped, you'll zero shift instead. It looks like you zero shift farther with a weapon at the ready than a shield. A treasure chest. There might be something useful in there, you know. To open a treasure chest, walk up to and press the A button. You can use the items you found at the item screen. To access the item screens and other sub-screens, just press start to open the menu. Now would probably be a good time to check up on your inventory, don't you think? So yeah, I have a piece of candy. Cure Drop. A green piece of candy restores 20% of your life. And I start with 340 hit points. Sheesh. I don't think I've ever had 340 hit points in the other Boktai games. I was trying to attack with B. Right, it's not worth killing everything at this point. I'm not earning experience until they teach me about that. Oh, another traveler. Haven't seen you around before, have I? You look like a swordsman to me. What kind of business have you got here? Wait a minute. You're not here to rescue the poor souls the Margrave took prisoner, are you? In that case, give me a hand! The name's B. I'm a gunslinger in the Akana Guild. Hard to believe a gunslinger from the guild would get held up by something like this. Sorry, I work alone. Hey, wait! So block puzzles are not a thing in this game. That is the extent of a block puzzle. You moron! Do you want him to find us? Is there a problem with that? If anyone gets in my way, I take him down, plain and simple. Who on earth are you? In the original Japanese, he's named Sabata, but he's an entirely different character, so I'm going with the rename, Lucian. My name is Lucian. I'm a vampire hunter. Lucian, where have I heard that name before? Oh well, we can worry about that later. Thanks to you, it's just a matter of time before they come looking for us. If you're that intent on causing a ruckus, I might as well use it to my advantage. See you around, Lucian! It's too bad there's never a playable female character in any of these games. This game was the last game in the franchise. It ends on a sequel hook, like the post game, which I'm not going to do because it's ridiculous. It's a 100-floor tower that actually ties into the story, but it's 10 floors repeating over and over. Well, 9 floors repeating followed by a powered-up boss. So, let's see here. Okay, so block puzzles. I can't interact with this one yet. This is the extent of the... Wait a second. Huh. Interesting. I cannot look around. Or can I? What if I... Okay. It's the X button to look around. So yeah, block puzzles. Consist entirely of breaking things. You either just break things or you break things with their opposite element. This game that also like has minimal stealth. It's mostly vestigial, but a couple of enemies interact with stealth, but most don't. Like the box, the ghouls, they just know where you are all the time. Oh hey. So yeah, it's a very different kind of game from the rest of the series. Great, more enemies. Why don't you test out your guarding skills, Lucian? Use the B button to raise your shield and guard against enemy attacks. But be careful, your guard counter goes down with each attack you block. It'll gradually refill itself when it's not being used. But if it ever hits 0, you'll lose the ability to guard for a brief period. The point is, try not to overuse it, alright? So, this enemy takes forever to attack. It's easier to just walk up to it and smash it, but I'll show off guarding. I think I showed it off earlier, but I'll also show it off later. Against enemies that... Yeah, I showed it off against a Bok earlier. This area feels like the kind of place where you would want a... Well, they called it a Sea-All Nut in older games. I wonder what they call it now. So when these enemies explode, it damages other enemies too. Right, why am I bothering fighting these things? I mean, I do get some cash out of it. Defeat all the monsters. Looks like you've leveled up. When you defeat enemies, you earn experience points, EXP, which goes towards increasing your level. Each time your level goes up, you get status points. These can be used to raise your ability levels and increase your performance. Ability levels can be raised in the following 3 fields. Vitality, which affects the maximum value of your life gauge. Spirit, which affects the maximum value of your energy gauge. And Skill, which affects the power of your attacks. Guess what I'm putting points into? You can allocate the status points you've earned to the status screen. Leveling up won't mean a thing if you don't make proper use of your status points, so don't forget about them, alright? So, in this game, you get more than 2 points per level, but things cost more than 1 point to rank up, so I will generally put points into 1 or no things at a time. When I first started playing this game, people who were aware of this game made fun of it because of this character, saying that he was, well, what was the word? Emo? An emo vampire hunter? I mean, I like the character. I don't know what it means, but it was clearly a way of making fun of him because they called a lot of things that they didn't like emo. I don't know what that means. Alright, I do gain experience now. So things are, in fact, worth killing now. So if you guard at the last second, you stun the attacker. If you just hold your guard, it bounces off your shield, but doesn't get really get stunned. And it looks like I'm about done for today. Join me next time when I complete the first tutorial area, and maybe get into the second one. I'll see you then.